Hello, beautiful, amazing, fantastic world, and you, just as amazing, wonderful individual. Today, I would like to speak about the inner world and the outer world. So, as you can probably imagine, there are differences to these two things, and through esoteric science and immersing yourself in the right concepts, you get to elucidate and illuminate what is the difference, what is otherwise the difference. It is like when you see only shapes in the dark, once you turn on the light, you can see what made the shapes. That is what spiritual science does, just like what science does to outer nature. Spiritual science is helping you illuminate what is in your inner nature. So the outer nature is the materialistic, in the materialistic sense, our outer senses. What is forms, what is shapes and movements, and structures of different kinds, kind of. These are, well, the elemental world, the rudimentary world of what we otherwise see with our senses. That is only a little part of what is otherwise the whole reality of mankind. You see, if we exclude ourselves, we only have the elemental world. But since we are human beings here, we can't exclude ourselves, since we are the ones perceiving this universe. We are not perceiving it from outside of ourselves through an invisible camera floating in the air. We are here observing with our whole being. So the outer world is with our outer senses. Now, with our inner world, now this is where things gets interesting. Our thinking, feeling, and willing also colors this elemental world, this outer world we see with our senses. So we think about this world, we have a feeling about this world, and we put our will out to the world. That is three of the areas of what we can become aware of in ourselves as subjective. Your own thinking, feeling, and willing. That is also where you become aware of your own freedom in all of this. You are not just an observer and a bystander inside your own body, moving along in an automatic railway truck. You are truly awake and aware and alive. So thinking, feeling, and willing. Now we also have four members we can become aware of right now, if you just imagine it with me for a moment. You have your physical body here. I have said this in many videos. You have your physical body here, your mineral body. This mineral body is not only mineral body, it is also plant-like and animal-like. That means we have an etheric body, emanating from the sun, our life body. The physical body is earthly, by the way, the mineral. Then you have the sun, the etheric, our life body. And then the moon, which is our astral body. That is also our instincts, pleasures, pains, what animals have in common with us. And then, in combination with the sun and the earth, is our ego. That is our four: physical, etheric, astral, and ego. So including with our thinking, feeling, and willing, we have these four. That alone is already something you can become aware of for yourself subjectively. But we also, almost everyone can see the same physical outer reality. That is with our five senses, but we think about it differently, we experience it differently based on what we went through in our life, how much we understand the world, and so on. And it is up to each and every one of us to grab a hold of that. Because no one will force you, no one will push you to do it. That is what being a scholar means. You are scholarly in your ways, curious in reality, finding out what's going on. So with these four, you also, with your ego, that has so graciously been given to us by the Christ, you use your ego, your I, to purify your animal side, your astral body, your life body, your plant-like structure, and your mineral body. Through your ego, you purify them by being aware and awake to your whole being. It's the same with experiencing out the reality. By you participating with your whole being in it, instead of being a passive bystander. So you are truly the captain of your ship, of your being. And you use your whole being as a sense organ and as an as an organ for thinking, feeling, and willing. It is kind of a stage, kind of a canvas where everything is happening upon, everything you can, experience as a human being. And I am the ego, the I, the only thing that can be said only to yourself, which means something inside you. Everything else is an object in a sense. But human beings have an I. So that is the difference between human beings and animals, and they are pretty extreme differences. They are gracious. The ego is graciously given to us so that we can cultivate, and through scholarship and science and mastering ourselves, becoming more and more a human being, a true human being, spiritually infused with lovely endeavors for all, to help all. So you see here, there are distinct differences between the outer world and the inner world, and the whole body we have creates the outer world in a sense. We are created for the outer world as the outer world is created for us. And it is important to include the whole of the human being while we research. That includes whatever is affected while we do so. We can't just exclude the rest of our body and be flying heads and think everything is math and calculation and geometry. It truly has to have life, will in it. That is when you can start to have a real experience of the divine, of life, of participation. It is always worthwhile. You never do this in vain. It is every single moment you use to cultivate your inner being to see these things. The more you are well versed in observing things. I just remembered something. When I said physical body earlier, I meant ancient Saturn. Just like etheric is ancient sun and astral is ancient moon. It was just, I digress. By you becoming aware of your inner being, that means everything you are. Through concept, you can become aware in reality, in a happening, in an event of what is happening. You see what I'm saying here. So when I describe something in picture to you, you can experience it as a happening. That is what I truly endeavor to do, and speak in truth, and speak. When I free speak like I do, I only think of a title or a topic and then I follow along that stream. It is so that I can speak as honestly as possible and speak what I do and what I have experienced in this last period, and what I have absorbed and come to understand, and share it with you so you can, have a glimpse of what esoteric science can do for a human being. It truly expands and deepens your whole being. your love for the world, for existence, for life, for truth, for right living, and for truly wanting the best for all of mankind. Because we are collectively and individually all moving towards the future. And I would love to have the future, well, loving and kind and caring as best as possible until everything falls to chaos, you know? It's better to build the steadiness, the foundation now helps for the future, in the future. It becomes a standing stone, a guide stone, so that we know when we pass and incarnate into the next life, we have something to grab onto. There is something physical we can truly, well, grab a hold onto, so that we can build the morals and love and ethics that is needed for the future. Because that is what will be needed to be cultivated. Understanding, love, compassion. These are the things necessary. So I think this was everything. Yeah, I think I hold the topic, the inner world and the outer world. And yeah, before on the end note, as I have said earlier, we are sevenfold human beings, and as I said, thinking, feeling, willing, physical body, etheric body, astral body, and ego. And then we have the spirit self, the life spirit, and the spirit man. The spirit self, the life spirit, and the spirit man is only in rudimentary form, only in germs. They will come in the future, but it can be built and grown to certain degrees in this life, which is our task. Those of all of us that truly understand the things that is to come, understand what is to be built, so that we are prepared. I thank you all. I love you. May God, Holy Spirit, Christ, and the hierarchy all bless, protect, and guide you all. And may you be resolved. May you have resolve further in your endeavor to do the same, to, build that foundation. Thank you. Goodbye.